once we get moving into this thing. Okay, so let's get this party started. So again, my name is Jim Lanny, and I'm the CEO of Intellectus 360, which has Intellectus Qualitative as one of our AI-driven tools to really facilitate the thematic analysis of your interviews. It did come up in conversation about how it can apply to other types of, narrative or case studies and so forth. So stay tuned for that. But at the moment, this is really kind of more phenomenological. Okay. So one thing about data, typically when you think about using a tool to analyze your qualitative interviews, typically you think about putting the whole interviews in. So I have 10 interviews and I put them in, interview E1, interview E2, up to interview E10. And when the AI works on that, it's going to grab from all over, right? So if I'm looking for a particular theme, it can grab from the beginning of an interview, at the end of an interview, or so forth. So I want to just put out there that there are other ways to keep it more focused and not have, I'll say, cross narratives, so to speak. What I mean by that is that you could theoretically load up data just by the interviewer question. So let's just say there's 5 questions, and so when the AI does the coding and excerpting, it could possibly just grab only interview responses based on the first question. Analogously, you could put in interviews only by research questions. So you know that any of the excerpting and any of the coding and any of the thematizing is going to be specific to that research question or aim. So I just want to say that you can get slightly different results based on how that data is put in. And if you only restrict it by question or only restrict it by research question, well, gosh, you're going to have a much more narrower and perhaps defined or refined set of responses. Okay, so now let's have everybody get logged in, and you can follow along. And then we fortunately have some example data sets in there, so you can move right along. And you can get logged in. Happy to see a nice attendance. Good, a lot of people interested in qualitative, so right on. All right, so let's give everybody a moment to get logged in. And so before I get logged in myself, I just want to go through briefly what a protocol that I'm going to go through with you all, which is basically I'm going to upload data, or you could have data transcribed, audio or video transcribed. We're going to be using the example data set, so that's something. For sure, the AI is not going to replace you having deep expertise around those interviews. So for sure, you have to read or reread. We've done a lot to make sure there's not hallucinations in these things. However, it's possible. And but how would you know? You only know because you know your data. So the reading and rereading is really critical to this whole thematic analysis endeavor. All righty. Inductive basically means that we are not coming in with codes, and we just want to let the tool generate, first of all, excerpt, collapse similar excerpts, and create a code name and code description. That is this process. Now, we've added a process where the researcher, knowing your data, can help refine those excerpts. So in that refinement process, We're going to thumbs up and thumbs down codes that make sense to us. And then it will rerun the inductive auto coding, again, generating excerpts, codes, and descriptions. Then there has to be a vetting process on your side, which is after I have these excerpts, codes, and descriptions, you have to read through them to make sure that they all kind of hang together. All right, so that's all in this refining excerpt process here. Okay. Then we're going to go through a process of generating themes. What's happening here is once you have a set of codes, the next step is to answer a few questions. How many themes are reasonable to encompass all of these codes? And then what are the names of those themes and what are the descriptions of those themes? So all that should be happening here. That's done with AI. There's also a refining process there, which is looking at those themes and descriptions and the codes to make sure those all hang together. There's a research question theme alignment that is, hey, gosh, I have all of these themes. I have these research questions. How do they go together? And which ones go together? And what's the rationale for that? So there's an AI process for that. And then there's a examining of that. And then there's some other data visualization that we can do and then downloading of it. There's also a deductive process, which I'm not going to really go through today. You can certainly make an appointment to particularly if you're faculty, with Ashley, and we'll go through that. Hey, gosh, you have a priori codes. How do we now go out and excerpt? Okay, so without further ado, let's see what we got here. So let me just move this over to here and make that bigger. Okay, so I'm wondering if I think I should do a manual creating of a project. So hopefully everybody's logged in. I'm going to do a manual process, and then I'll have everyone follow along with another with a preloaded transcript. So to get started, first thing I do is create a project. So I have an option here of a new project or sample project. So for a new project, I'll do both. So for a new project, I go ahead and create a project name. So workshop November 14. Okay. You can put in a purpose statement and research question. Here, the research question, this is around digestive disorders. So, I'll say, what are the coping mechanisms of those with digestive? Okay. So there's a research question, and then I can create that project. Now I can upload text files, which I'll do right here. Well, so just to lay out the landscape first, I can upload PDFs, text files, Word documents, upload audio and video. If you do that, it will calculate how many minutes it has to be transcribed, and you can have them transcribed. But Zoom really has an easy way to automatically transcribe. There's just a few steps. I need to get that into our website, but I was able to figure it out in 5 minutes. So that's really the better option than the free option. Or there's blank transcripts where you can just start typing or paste in a Word document. So at the moment, I'm going to go to upload files, and I'm going to upload Brett and Sarah. By the way, what I do with the AI is really, it doesn't matter if it's 30 pages or 630 pages, it's all relatively quick. So here are my 2 interviews. They're about 15 pages each. So I think I want to go just run through this and then work one by one um, with everyone. But if you want to upload your data, for those that do have data, um, you can do that. So I think maybe I'll just run through it quickly first. So I have data in. I can code in three ways. Okay. One is with the AI coding with the inductive. So I go to AI tools and I go to inductive. And basically what's happening is the the prompts are going out and AI is going out and it's finding relevant excerpts and then collapsing those relevant excerpts and then creating a code name and code description. That's what's happening. So this is a purely or fully AI operation here. And typically it takes about 1 minute and 11 seconds, give or take. So the method is inductive. It's identified 18 codes comprised of 65 excerpts. So I'm going to go to preview. And now I can just apply those to the project if I wanted, but I can also go to a refining step. And in that refining step, I can review these codes and thumbs up, thumbs down. So let me just arbitrarily thumbs up a few of these, arbitrarily thumbs down a few of these. By the way, I really like the distribution of excerpts here. Sometimes there's like one excerpt for code, which I'm not crazy about. Other times there's 100 excerpts per code, but somehow that seems pretty smooth. Okay, so with those thumbs up and thumbs down, it's going to take your teaching of the tool of what you like and don't like, or prefer and don't prefer, and then and then go ahead and do that process again. All right. All right. So, and again, takes a few seconds. And let's see if it does it this round. Hunky dory. So it's found 15 codes and 94 excerpts. So I think it reduced the number of codes, but increased the number of excerpts that it was looking for. Now I'm just going to apply those to the project. By the way, there are these scrollovers under the I, which is now the description of that code. So you have the code name, but you also have the description right underneath that. Okay. And apply to projects. So what I have here is all of my AI codes. So I can then go into, and I suggest that you do, go into the three dots here and into the details. And this is the human part where you need to vet the AI. So does that code name make sense? Does that code description make sense? Okay, and you can add to these things. Okay, and then the excerpts need to make sense. So that's a really important process. So, it saves time and it's going through all of the transcripts, but you need to make sure this makes sense to your brain. All right. That's one aspect of AI coding, purely AI. There's also a purely manual mode of coding, which is under add code. And I can, under the manual, I can have example code. Oops. Okay, some description. So I can just add that. And I have that example code. Then I can simply grab an excerpt that I find and hit the plus sign. And now I've added that excerpt to that code. So we have fully AI, we have fully manual. Now we also have a hybrid version, which is, I think that this excerpt is particularly important. Make it a little bit larger. So, and then I go to add code and to AI assist. This process is helping to name and describe that excerpt. So what I've just done is a fully AI process, a fully manual process, and an AI assisted hybrid version. Okay? So that's our codes. Now let's just go to themes. There's a few ways of doing this. So let's just go to AI tools and go to automatic thematizing. What this functionality does is it's going to identify what is the optimal number of themes. Now you can up that, down that, and maybe I'll just down that. Okay, update that. So I can select the number of themes that I want. It's identified 5 themes. Okay, and then I can apply that to the project. What it's done is it's created either optimized the number of themes or allowed you to select the number of themes. Then it has created a name of a theme and a description of the theme right here on the details. Okay, and then put these codes there, or these codes with that. So this is also the next part of the human analyst process, which is now vetting that suggested theme name, theme description. Okay. All right. And then make sure that those codes make sense and hang together. So I want to make sure that name, description, and codes all kind of go together for each of these different themes. That's the fully AI theme process. I can also go ahead and add themes manually and a theme description. So now I have that sitting here somewhere, right here. Okay, there's my new theme. By the way, I can drag a code into a theme by just clicking on those 6 dots and just dragging it in. So now I've tied that code to that theme. And then I also have a AI assisted, which is, let me see here. So I can select a few of these different codes. And have AI select or generate rather, a theme, suggested theme name and theme description, and then add it to it. So, okay, create theme. So what we've just done in this process now is to AI select generate themes or manual themes or AI assisted themes. So 3 ways of grabbing themes. Okay, let's keep going. So while all this is happening, the excerpt log, well, one, you can start adding memos at any point throughout. And also other things are being documented or cataloged here. I'm uploading transcripts. I'm doing some inductive, okay? How I'm creating codes and so forth. So it's kind of laying out what's happening. The next thing to do is perhaps do some visualization. So I might want to go to the bar chart. And for the theme occurrences, I have my theme sitting here. I have my participants here. And if I scroll over, I can see that Sarah contributed 24 excerpts to navigating health complexities, where Brett contributed 11 excerpts, and so forth. You can see that at the theme level. So it's tying themes, excerpts, and participants together. Okay, cool. We can also do that for the code occurrence. Here's all of our codes, and it's tying together codes and codes, code descriptions, and excerpts together. Okay, so here, Sarah has contributed 7 excerpts to alternative healthcare approaches. This is useful in terms of, hey, gosh, is this really a good code, or is this really a good theme where it's just one excerpt, A, and only Sarah found it? Maybe not. So just to have those visualizations, and you can submit that to be downloaded into our insights document. I can also now do a couple things. So one is I can now tie my research question to my themes by using AI to suggest, AI has identified that those 3 themes specifically connect to that research question. What are the coping mechanisms of those with digestive disorders? And submit. What this does for you is it ties that question to that theme, and then it provides a suggested rationale for why those 2 things go together. Ditto for that research question and the next. Okay. The next theme, and then a suggested description and so forth. Okay, that's research question rationale. I can also do a deeper dive into the theme descriptions by selecting a theme, selecting a representative excerpt. Here there was just one. Let's go to another one. Okay, so find excerpts that are relevant. Hit submit. And here I have with regard to developing my document, my theme, okay, my theme description, the codes associated with that, and my supporting excerpts. All this can be downloaded into an editable Word document. Okay, a couple of other things, and then we're going to move on to projects. We've also, well, 2 other things immediately. One is the excerpt tab. Here you can download, which is tying text to codes to themes by transcript. This is useful, particularly if you want to say, well, gosh, I wasn't really happy with the excerpts that I have for a particular theme. So when you download that, you have all that information sitting there. Okay. All right. The other thing I want to show you, which is really critical, is the kappa. Once you have these excerpts and themes, you should be able to do integrated reliability. And it was a very arduous process, before we developed this, really. And under the 3 dots under a project, I can go to reliability tools. I can put in the potential raters' email addresses and then invite the raters. The raters will do a matching task between the excerpts and the themes, and then they will result in this. So there'll be a little conversation about what integrated reliability is, okay, and then some qualitative assignment for varying degrees of integrated reliability. And then for each pair of raters, it will show you the kappa coefficient for each theme, as well as an overall kappa. If you have numerous raters, then it will give you that overall, okay? That is for averaging among the different pairs of raters. Okay. I think with that being said, let me just stop for questions for a moment. I love this question. Do you have any certified trainer certificate in program? Not yet. Love that question because I know others do that. That is something to tuck away there. So I think we need to do that. We don't as of yet But I know who our first customer is there, Malik. All right. We can train students in our institutions or using your products. Boy, okay. Um, let's make sure we have your email address. All right, other questions here. Does the tool code multiple, okay. Does the tool code multiple coding levels, level 1, level 2, and so forth? So it does go down to 2 levels. There might be more than 2 levels. So hang on. That's a great question. So here I have Sarah and Brett. So I could put this theme underneath this theme. So now I have a sub theme here. And I think I can actually go into, no. Ha! There's a maximum of 3 levels of nesting. So that answers the question. But you can see this theme with that icon underneath this theme. So you have I'll say a superordinate theme, a theme, and then codes. So those are the 3 levels. And nice error message. So lets me know what's happening. Okay, I'm a faculty who want to pass on good information to students. Right on. Should I have students reach out? Also, at my department college, I think I have access to AI-based qual packages is important. Well, we think so too. Not everyone's a statistician or qualitative researcher, but yet has good data and good research questions to ask. So, Melissa, do you want to answer the good information to students or to others? Or Ashley's typing, okay.
Yeah, Ashley will answer.
Okay, very good. Okay, any other questions? Okay, this is amazing. Thank you, Dr. Celeste. I appreciate that. Okay, so, and you know what? And it is amazing because it literally, people have asked, I was asked recently, they said, how did you get into this? And I said, I spent a year coding, a year of my life, when I had hair, a year. So, now you can do things pretty quickly in 15, 20 minutes. You can have a good set of codes, themes, rationales, visuals pretty quickly. Now, you have to go through and vet all of that, but gosh, you have something that's a heck of a good start. So, I just think the efficiency of 1 year to 15 minutes is, huge. All righty. All right. So with that being said, listen, I don't see anybody who shared a project, or maybe I just haven't refreshed. Okay, maybe that's the deal.
And if you did share your project, if you could raise your hand, or if you'd like to, we can walk you through that if you're having questions about how to do that.
Yep. All right. So yeah, so I want to linger on Jennifer's comment, Dr. Jennifer, that, hey gosh, any faculty that are out there, you can email Ashley. We can get demonstrations set up for you and your colleagues. We can get trials set up for you and your colleagues. And we, just to complement this whole business, we have a set of courses that are competency based, go behind your LMS, that can complement your teaching of students. Okay, so just know that that's out there too. We can get you all of that. And Malik, maybe there's certificates to be had here, so we're going to figure that out.
And we have one person that's raised their hand, so I'm going to unmute Ronald. And I know, Ronald, you mentioned that you did have data. If you uploaded it and shared it, we can get to that.
I'm not sure how to upload it. I mean, let's see, where is the data?
So what you want to do is you want to go to projects.
I'm not sure.
You want to go to create project. And
So
then go to new project. And then just name it, something, okay? And then just,
I can't find where I have this. Okay, where is Intellectus?
Okay, or what we can do is if you email it to me, Melissa, if you can put my email address back in, well, it's in there. It's under the web chat, the very first block, last line. 5 items, each present qual data. Yeah, just email it over to me and then I'll upload it if it's hopefully de-identified and so forth.
Okay. Doing that now.
Okay. All right. So while you're doing that, let me just grab a few Q&A to kind of keep this thing lively. In terms of academic integrity, what are the ethics of this tool? If I can use this, can I defend it in my Viva? I'm not quite sure what that is, but so I mean, I would say that AI tools are here to stay. There's no doubt about that. You want to, at every step of the process, you are vetting AI or manually or hybrid working with it. So I think that, I think we need to have a framework of research where AI is assisting us and that the human analyst is at that same level. If you just took it and just stuck it in your paper or your research, I would say that is a terrible, terrible practice. So I think the integrity comes with you, with all of us, that we are using it as a companion, just as the integrity of using a calculator, that I'm vetting it. If a number doesn't make sense, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Let me go back and do it by hand. So I think that's where we're at. And I think the ethical implications have the same kind of a thing. You know, I think that there are folks that are not going to like any AI, no matter what they do. In which case I would say, you don't have to use it. It's okay, doing it by hand is perfectly fine as well. We think that with this tools and it's, only getting better and better and better, that the rigor and the efficiency is massive. And again, we vet everything that AI comes out with, and then we can manually or hybrid add codes and themes and so forth. Okay. Can this work in other languages? In fact, it can. Surprisingly, I think the results come back in English, but it does read all different languages. So amazingly. Let's see. Okay, so let me hold off, keep those questions there. How are we doing there, Ron?
I sent you the data.
Okay, good. So now I have 10 screens in front of me. Sometimes you need more than 2 screens. Okay, so here we are. All right, so high score. So here is. Okay, so here is your data, right?
Yep.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about some data like this, and I just worked with a client, and she also asked questions about HPV vaccinations and so forth. We only had responses. Here's what I would say to do here. I think we have to add the question as a prefix, and it worked pretty darn good. We're not going to have time to do this now, but what was the question that these responses answered?
Okay, let me I'll get to I gotta look it up.
Okay. So when you have, because now this is the second time I've seen this. So, and I think there's going to be more of it, right? If you just have men, but you don't have a question that goes with. So I'll show you what I do. And I'll.
So the question was, let's see. Men should watch football games instead of soap operas. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Should watch football
games instead of soap operas. I'll put it in the chat.
So That's a question?
Put it into the, where should I put it? The Q and
Q&A, Q&A.
A. Okay.
Let me see if I can get there again.
So just so you understand, we administered this instrument to a bunch of men,
Yeah,
and after asking the question, after seeing the question, they were asked to what extent they agree or disagree with that on a 7-point scale. And we took the high scores, that is scores of 6 and 7, and then asked them, why did you respond in that way? So that's what my data consists of. We're trying to figure out why men score high on masculinity scales.
okay.
Does that make any sense to you? Or do you need more data?
Well, I mean, to me, it's going to be obvious that men are scoring high masculinity, women score high on femininity, and then there's some overlap in between, right, of those two. So, so you're into it, and I'm here's this neophyte coming in, me, uh, of of doing a deeper dive about what are the, why the why is a deeper question than my understanding has at the moment. So
Well, we're asking them to tell us why
yes,
they scored high. So we're asking them to what extent do they agree with statements reflecting masculine norms?
right.
And those, and it's on a 7-point scale, and those that score 6 or 7 were, so why did you answer the way you did? And that's what this data consists
Oh,
of.
okay. So, okay.
Does that
So
make sense?
yeah, it does. So let me just say, so um, so let me just try this. So men who um, rate, so men who rated,
High,
right, right, on on y on okay. So this so you're gonna have to play around with this. Um, but this is what, but just to show the process, I think I would do this for each one of these things.
oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm not really able to read what you did.
Um, well,
You,
basically, I put it. I'm prefacing their responses with men who rated high on why men should watch football games as a soap opera. We want to know why they rated it highly. Okay, and then here.
ah,
Okay, so that's what I'm doing. So this may not be perfect, but that's for sure. When you have short answers like this is, I mean, I'm speaking to a general audience now, of course. That you have to preface it. If you just had men, right? That's my dumb answer, right? Well, because they're men. uh, but you're more nuanced about this. So when you have, so anyone who has short answers like this, I would suggest putting in some context.
okay,
All
gotcha.
right, before it, because AI is not going to know what in God's name that is. Okay.
Okay.
So let's try this real quick. Um, yeah, again, I had somebody, it's a similar use case where they just had responses to a question, but AI didn't know what the question was. So now I'm just going to grab that, Control C, Control C, and you can do this for each question. So now if I went to create project, Ron, I'm just going to type in with a blank, okay? and begin typing. I'm basically gonna paste in what we had. Control B. All right. So now at least AI has some context, all right?
Yeah.
That's step one. Now, just for the heck of it, let's do the inductive coding. Okay, so now hopefully it will make sense out of that first part, but that should be refined a little bit there. I mean, this was just kind of on the fly, in 2 seconds trying to figure this out. But I think the general rule is give the AI context. So let's just preview it. So why did men rate high? Entertainment value, gender role expectations, interesting. Gendered media categories, interesting. Personal preference, social connection, social pressure. That seems pretty darn good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that seems excellent. That
Pretty
seems
damn good. So I'm gonna go back and refine it. One thing, which one don't you like which one do you like the least?
let's
By the
see.
way, when you scroll over, you can look at the description. Entertainment, perceived entertainment differences between football. Okay, pretty darn good. Traditional
That's the one I
expectation.
like the least, entertainment value.
Okay, fine. So, because I think our rule is you have to have one thumbs down. Okay. But I gotta say, now you might have on a short, you have 30 quick responses, maybe do it by hand, but this gives you some suggestions, right? So 7 codes, 26 excerpts. I'm going to apply that to the project. You would then go through, and this is being recorded, you would then go through each of these codes and say action versus drama dichotomy. That's interesting. Again, being a dumb machine, okay, we're kind of getting somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, so make sure that all hangs together. I would then go into the thematizing. How do these different codes go together or not? Well, perhaps there's 3 different codes. You would go through here, okay, and go into the details of each theme name, theme description, and then those are the codes that go with it. You've given me the opportunity to show folks how to share stuff. So is it okay that I share this?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, where is my right? No, wrong. Wait, here we are. Right here. So I have to go here and go to share. Wait, transfer. I want to transfer ownership. Okay. So I'm going to put that in there. Okay. And transfer. So now that whole thing goes to you. All right. And then you can accept or decline it. So I think that's how I would handle. So you gave a great use case for short answers, but put the context first. And I just did that the best I could and pasted in front of everything. So when AI looks at that sentence, it has something to connect to.
Thank you. That really helps.
Yeah, and it might be too brute force of a process. Maybe you just put it up top and then you have the short answers underneath. I just put it at each one to kind of make sure that was all kind of tied together and AI was picking up that this is a set of responses to a similar question. So happy to do a demo for you, colleagues, trials, and Ashley can get that going. All right. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Ashley Burrows.
All right, so I'm going to go see if there's any more Q&As here. Okay, there's chat, so I'd be looking at chats.
So
Okay.
you can go to the Q&A.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Q&A. Okay. Okay, hi, I just shared my data. Okay, I will. Here's the accept or decline. Okay, got it. So let's just work, Akinliba, maybe we can unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. Hi, how are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Better for your asking. Thank you.
Sure.
So I've just, so let's just open this up. So you have different sets of transcripts. Great. Awesome. Okay, so so should we just work this through a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I would do is go to AI tools and inductive and let the AI chew through your 10 transcripts. And how long are these transcripts, by the way, in terms of I could probably look at the
Half hour, 20
pardon?
minutes, 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So 200 minutes divided by 60 minutes in an hour, 180. So you know you have a 3 hours and 20 minutes of interviews to read, and gosh, in 2 minutes we have 53 codes and 140
Wow.
excerpts.
Wow.
Okay, let's go through this. So I'm going to have you do this again. This is all being recorded, but my next step would be you have these different codes, and if you scroll over, you have these the descriptions. So I would go to refine excerpts. Okay, it's got a little description about which thumbs up, thumbs down. I would review the codes, and I'm going to willy-nilly or arbitrarily just grab some of these things. Okay. Maybe grabbing the ones with high numbers. You know, we're time limited here. Okay. Uh, all right. Oh boy. Okay. So, and you don't have to do all of them. So let's just go there. Just for the heck of it though. But this would be the next step. Going through, looking at the name, looking at the description, and saying, just like I asked John before.
Can you thumbs up
Like,
pre-existing digital capabilities?
pardon me?
Can you thumbs up pre-existing digital capabilities?
Well, I'm suggesting that, well, that's right. So whatever your mindset is,
Okay.
schema for these things, okay, just thumbs up, thumbs down. All right.
Okay.
But it could be based on your theoretical framework. It could be based on your research questions and kind of pre-existing literature. So there's lots of ways of kind of coming to that. It's
Yeah.
actually, you know, it's actually an important question, which is, what is the determining factors to thumbs up, thumbs down? What is that? What should my cognitive process be here? What is my criteria for doing this? For Ron, it was, hey, I didn't like that, you know. So, but that's a longer conversation. All right. So, any inductive method found 37 codes, lots of excerpts. I can now apply those to the project. And then I would, once I have these, all of these codes, I would go through them and look at the details of the suggested code name, description, and then excerpts. Then I would go into the thematizing process and now figure out of those 35 or 37 codes, okay, it's looking for 17 themes. I might not want 17 themes. To me, that seemed, well, again, that's an interesting question. So when I did my qualitative dissertation by hand, I had 21 themes. So, you know, you have to see what's right. So then you want to go through and then go through each one of these themes and make sure that the theme name, description, and codes hang together. And you can change those. You can delete these. You can, if you, by the way, if you went here, let me go to a short one. If you went here and you said, you know, that's really kind of too short, you can go to that excerpt and then really kind of expand it. So just know that you can make these things longer or shorter. Okay. Then, as I exemplified in the beginning, maybe start visualizing things like, okay, here are my themes. Here's the contribution of excerpts and participants to each of those themes. So to me, these are like, these first few seem like really well represented. And then over here, I'm like, out of 10 people, only one person had 2 excerpts. That might not be strong enough for me. I mean, some needles and haystacks are probably worth talking about. But in terms of general or generalizable kind of themes, I might not like those. By the way, somebody can totally disagree with me, no problem. I'm not saying that that's the way it has to be, but I would be, to me, when you have that representativeness up there, that just speaks to something. Ditto when I go to code occurrences. Here's all my codes. Here is participant 7 contributing 4 excerpts to business impact of COVID. Again, to me personally, the fact that it's represented by lots of folks, they seem much stronger to me. Okay. And I might not go with this. Again, I will not put myself out there as the expert, but it's something to consider. All right. So, and then the other thing I'd want to do is maybe submit that. I'd perhaps want to do a deeper dive into the theme description. So here's my different themes. For each one of these things that I want to keep, I'd probably select a theme, select some representative excerpts, because now I'm trying to build out my results document. Hey, what were my themes? I'll show you. What is my theme? What's the description of my theme? What are the codes involved? What are my excerpts? For each theme that I keep, I'd want to kind of talk about that. I'd want to add some visualizations and make some decisions based on that. And then I don't know if you had the research question in there, but you can.
Yeah, they're in there.
They're there?
Yes.
Okay, very good. You're following along well. I like that. All right. So how to dynamic capabilities. Okay, so grab a research question, use AI to see which, now it's selected those 5 themes go with that research question. And now what we have is, here's our research question, and here's our first theme, and then here's the rationale for why they tie together. Again, this is for your consideration, and then you need to, vet that. All right.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And it's a good start. And again, I'll, for some of the earlier Q&A, this is a suggestion. You can use the tool to help keep track things. You can still do codes manually or AI assist. You can watch the video. You can still add themes manually, AI assist. So, it's, even if you had just those 2 without the AI, it's a simple way to thematize your project. The fact that AI is, doing some sophisticated work behind the scenes, to me, it's great for consideration. You don't have to do that. So thank you for your project, and
Can I ask a question before I go?
Getting everything in there. So good job.
Yeah, can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
Now that I have shared this data with you and you have done this work, can I see that work on my own end of the software?
This is your project. So yes, so this is,
okay.
you shared it
I
with
see.
me. What I would
I
do here
see.
now, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave the project. I don't want to be responsible for any projects. So now now you have all of that on your side.
Oh, thank you.
All right. And Melissa, I know some of these folks have it only for a few days. So what I would do then is a few things. So when you have when you have your results and you have your insights, you can download all of that to the Word document, and you can, under the excerpts, you can download the excerpts, codes, and themes. So now you really have your rich data. If you don't want to buy the program, no problem, but you have all the data. And if you do want to buy the program, Melissa or Ashley, how do they do that? Like they want to carry on doing this?
So when you log back in, you'll have access through that link that we sent through tomorrow. If you log back in, you will not have lost anything, and you can just start a subscription right from that screen. If your faculty are interested in department licenses, please reach out to Ashley. We can get you moving on that.
All right, and how do you reach out to Ashley?
Her information is in the chat and it's in the email, but it's also ashley@intellectus360.com.
All right. Can you say that slow? So Ashley at intellectus360.com, but she has intellectusstatistics.com. So either one of those would work. Let's go ahead and maybe put into the Q&A and into the chat. If you could put that in, thank you. Okay. Always ahead of me. All right. Let's see if we can get to a few more questions here. How can I create a thematic map and export it to my Word document? Ibrahim, you're speaking my language. We've talked about maps of different sorts. We don't have any at the moment. But I really like I like that mapping idea. So at the moment we don't have it. All I would say is that I have the manual. I have the manual themes here. Okay. We need a mapping thing just to visualize it. You know. So at the moment, I think I would just look at that and then just, in PowerPoint or Word, just create, some text boxes and link them. So I unfortunately do not have a great answer for you right there. Katerina, can we use these codes to get our material for the lit review? Okay, I'm loving these questions. Can we? That is so we're developing a lit review tool, but you're asking something different. You're kind of working backwards, which is, hey, gosh, I have the data. Let me get the codes and themes. Based on that, let me do a lit review as keywords, if I understand your question. I think that's brilliant. I think the short answer is yes. So yes, you can of course use those codes as keywords. Do you have to add the literature on the subject? So surprisingly not. That's the beauty of this, that you do not have to. Now you can put in your research questions, but you don't have to have that in there. Surprisingly, it discerns all of that data to excerpt and create codes. With backend and training of AI expanded at lightning speed, that's true. I did just hear this morning that they're talking about AGI in 2026. I mean, to me, this thing passes the Turing, a little sidebar. To me, this passes the Turing test already, right? That this seems human-like. So, and people can mistake it. So we're kind of getting there. So yeah, AGI can just be mind-blowing. And your system depend upon some LLMs, right? How do you ensure that between a project, things won't change and that they won't affect the project? You can't. You can't. Even when we run the codes and rerun them, or you run the project twice, does not guarantee. We've done a lot of testing to try to have reliability in that. So there's things that we've done, but there is no sure proof way. But you're the human that's looking at it. When you've uploaded information or viewing the transcript in order to code, is there a way to lock the width of the transcript area? And essentially lengthen the wrap instead of having to scroll to the left and right of each line. I think what you're, I mean, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but in terms of locking in the width, locking in this width. Okay, so wait a second. So no. So I think if you kept this sidebar as it is, I think that's fine. But I think once you get to squeezing it in, well, now you lost it altogether. I don't think that there's a locking in. But I think if you don't mess with this, I think you can go back and forth, and it's not going to change. So I don't know if that fully gets to your question, but how does the tool compare to NVivo, which is another popular platform? NVivo, never heard, but no, NVivo kind of started the whole thing. I cannot speak to NVivo. I would say that NVivo probably has a lot more bells and whistles. So if you want to have a video and code it right there, we're not there yet. So I think they probably have other resources and other functionality that we don't have. So each one of these tools, is going to come with their own kind of advantages and disadvantages. And for sure, they're out there 30 years, we're out here 2 years, we're out here a year. So they're going to have developed stuff. I think we are on top of our game in terms of the AI functionality, though. I think we are using many different prompts. We do lots of testing with prompts. We have lots of LLMs at work. And I think we're, having the DNA of simplicity and rigor in there. So, again, I can't speak to these other ones. And even Max QDA was just bought by NVivo. So now you have 2 of those. So, can't speak to it, but hopefully you love and enjoy this. And more importantly, share that love and joy with other people. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap up here. So I should get to this. So let me go here. And we're at the well, from the and here I'll end with this. So you can contact Melissa, but certainly the partnership development manager, Ashley, will be happy to, again, work with sales, work with demonstrations, work with trainings, work with trials, work with getting the courseware over to you. So I think with that being said, I will say thank you all for your wonderful, wonderful questions, your attention. And anyway, I look forward to, you'll get an email, you'll get the video, and then you'll get an email talking about the next webinar. We also have a quantitative tool, equally as powerful, simple, and cool too. So hope to see you all for that as well in the very near future. In the meantime, stay safe, have a wonderful rest of the week and weekend.